Hey, what's up guys? This is T-Bone here. Welcome back to another episode of playing Gemstone Legends. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about something that I haven't had a chance to do in a while, and I think would be good for me to get back into, and that is the fundamentals and the basics of the game. So the game Gemstone Legends really has a lot of areas which I find to be very, very interesting, and raid bosses is perhaps one of my favorite features. It allows me to explore and to experiment with different playstyles, and I've learned some tips and tricks along the way, and I wanted to share them with you today. Now, of course, you can take a look at this team here. This is one of the more optimal teams that I have found for myself against Corrupted Bastet. And so with this, without any potions, I was able to get over 2 million, and with potions, I got close to 4 million damage. But it's not the team I'm going to talk about, although I do want to share this team in case you want to try a similar setup. But even with the right team, sometimes you might find that you're not getting the kind of score that you think you should. And this is where I think having the knowledge of some of those tips and tricks could help you along. And so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to use a different team. We're going to jump into a fight, and then let's talk about those. Today's video is sponsored by Bloodline Heroes of Lithis. It is a hero collector fantasy RPG with a 3D art style in which you can build your kingdom and collect champions to defend it. You can download the game right now for free, and if you use my link in the description below, you can also get an amazing starter pack. What makes this game unique and different from the others is your ability to create your own legendary champions by combining different bloodlines. You can choose from elves, demons, demigods, orcs, dwarves, lycans, dragonborn, and vampires. In 2023, all players can enjoy battling in the new Guild War on brand new maps. Conquer territories with your guild members and claim rewards to create the most unique hybrid champions called Bloodcraft Legends. New bloodlines and legendary hybrids are constantly being added to the game, with endless possibilities for you to seek the greatest hybrid hero that suits your style. Remember, you can download the game using my link in the description below, or using the QR code that you see on the screen. It's free on both Android and iOS, and you'll get the following benefits: a special starter pack with 1 summoning crystal, 100,000 gold, and 100 diamonds. For the next 7 days, the first 20 players who leave their in-game account ID and username in the comment section below will receive a free Legendary Female Orc Champion, Ugrull, one of the best warriors to carry the game. Download now and create your own legendary hybrid. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at this team here. It is a relatively straightforward team that doesn't require any other legendaries rather than Street Block. But again, you don't actually have to copy this team. This is not a team I'm saying is going to be the most effective or anything like that. I'm actually just using this setup to talk about a couple of concepts. The first one is going to be the team composition. So anytime you're building a team, especially against raid bosses, you want to try and go with what I'm calling a 2-2-1 composition, and that is two heroes of one color, 2 heroes of another color, and then 1 hero of a third color. What you want to avoid is having 3 heroes of the same color or 1 of every color. Okay, this is going to be the most optimal for you because of mana gain, how mana gain works. And so with 2 or less, you basically will have the same rate of gaining your mana. But once you have 3 or more heroes, you start slowing down. That means it requires more gems for you to be able to get their skills to activate. And also when you have 1 of each, you're going to have a lot of different colors you have to deal with. You only have limited turns, and so this is the more balanced approach. So I'm going to go in and jump into the fight, and there's a couple of things that I like to talk about that I like to personally do. I really enjoy thinking about how gem drops work, and so that is how I can maximize my mana gain. Okay, that's always a passion of mine, thinking about how I can do the best I can with what I've got. And then the second thing is, how can we starve the mana for our opponents? And so there's a couple of things that we can do here. So the first thing is, we have a pretty fast hero in Street Block, so I'm going to go ahead and activate him. And now, like, if you were to take a look at this board, I encourage you to sort of think like as a mental exercise, think about how would you play this board out? Like, what would you do? And for me, I'm always looking for opportunities where I can do multiple matches that results in multiple drops that work in my favor. This is especially true if you play with Astral Heroes. If you have an Astral Hero on your team, you want to look for as many gem matches as possible because they all go toward mana gain. In this case, I don't have any Astral Heroes, but I think it's still a good practice to think about. So the first one is here. We're going to get a blue gem match. That's pretty obvious because we do have we do have Street Block here. And then now what I have is I'm actually going to go ahead and do a gem match here. Okay. It's worth noting that because I did a match of 5, any gem matches of 4 or more will net you a power gem, and the power gem will stay in the last place where you made that 4 or more gem match. So that means a green gem is going to be here. Now, because I did this match, this purple gem is actually going to drop and do a connection here, which is good. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually now going to think about, okay, well, I'm going to try and leave the yellow gems. I want to try and get the yellow gems away from the boss, but I have two positions here that could happen. I could choose to either move the top one or the bottom one, but if you use the top one, the bottom one is guaranteed to be a match for the boss. Whereas the top one, there's actually more movement that could happen. And so I think we may not be able to avoid it, but this gives us the best chance to be able to remove the gems from play. In this case, we didn't, but we also got more gem matches here. Again, like I said, if you have Astral Heroes in your team, you would have actually gotten all of their gems to all of their skills to activate at this point. And so that's sort of the benefit here. And now, because we don't have any yellow gems, there's nothing we can do about it. And so, there's actually a ton of options here. So we want to make sure that we can activate. I guess we can activate Street Block again. We can activate Gorak here. Oh my gosh, this is actually just a ton of options here. And so I'm going to go ahead and do this. Okay, so what this is going to do is, you notice what I did is I actually set up my gem matches here. So there's a red power gem is going to come here. This dark gem is going to go away. These 2 blue gems will actually drop and match down here. And all that's left for me to do is to do this match. And now I have a gigantic match here. And this is, again, how you could get some nice damage. And so these things will come with experience. Okay, but you notice that, just it's an exercise in thinking about where your optimal match is going to be, and that comes from just kind of thinking about how the gems will match and knowing where the power gems will be, because that's going to block sometimes where your gems will drop. And so knowing about it is going to be helpful. And we're going to go ahead and put our Warrior's Nectar. We're going to deal as much damage as we can with Gorak, and then now we also need to pay attention to Martin. Okay, so what we want to do is we do want to make sure that we can get Martin to activate. And in this particular situation, I think it's better to just go ahead and do this so that we can activate both Martin and also Ong here, so that we can continue to deal a bit more damage. We can get some mana gain and so forth. And so that was actually, there's a lot already that I mentioned here. And hopefully this helps you sort of see how you can, change your regular gameplay so that you can optimize for more gem matches, especially thinking about how you can actually get more gems to drop and more gems to connect to increase your overall damage because of the combos, and also just making it so that it's easier for you to be able to set up for all of your heroes to go ahead. In situations where you can't really, do much, you kind of just wait for the next turn. But in here, what you can do is, if you could just try to go for it as well. And this is the last point I'm going to make before I kind of skip ahead to the last part. Mayra has 24 mana gain. So that means she really only needs 3 gem matches is all you need to be able to get her to activate. And so this is where you don't have to think about more blue gem matches. Now you can actually go ahead and try and, let's say, match gems for your purple gems. And so this is exactly what I'm going to do. So now I don't have to worry about matching the blue gems because I know that Mara is going to be able to activate. And so that's just something to think about, like how you can save your gem matches, knowing that you're already filling up a hero. You don't have to worry about it again. Move on to the next one so that you can optimize. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead now. You can show the gameplay. I'm going to play through to the end so you can see how much damage I'm able to do with this particular setup. So here's another fun one, actually. If you take a look here, I'm trying to get some blue gem matches, but sometimes when you move, you may be tempted to move this bottom one up to make this 4 gem match here. But if you do that, you're actually going to be in a situation where you're going to have a hard time matching, and you might end up wasting a lot of gems, matches. So remember what I said about power gem matches. First thing I'm going to show you is, if you move this green gem over, you're going to create a power gem that's going to drop to the bottom and the blue gem is going to sit on top. Okay. And then what you can do is I can make this blue gem come down by making a purple gem match at the same time. And there is a red gem here that's going to also prop up the blue gem. And now what I can do is I can just move this blue gem down, and I can actually get my blue gem to be matched this way. Okay, and so now I actually got a little bit of purple gem, and I managed to get my Streetbox skill going. And you know, these are sort of the little tricks and little tips that I've learned along the way that I find, you know, just optimizes your gameplay a little bit. And so these are just like, and I always look for these opportunities because they're just fun. All right, let's keep going. We're almost at 1 million. I'm hoping we can hit over 1 million damage with this setup here. So let's keep going. Okay, and that's the end of that fight. So we ended up with 1.31 million damage. This is against a level 6, 6-star level 2 boss. And we did it with 2 rare heroes, 2 epics, and a legendary. Now, you do need to make sure that your tank, Martin, is at 6 stars and has good health for sure. But this, I think, score-wise would have been a lot lower if I didn't employ some of the tricks I was talking about, because there would have been situations where I probably don't make the kind of matches I need to be able to activate Martin, for example, or to be able to activate Gorak, to be able to deal damage when I should be able to, and then you end up wasting turns, and sometimes you end up having to waste potions because you're just short that mana to be able to activate your tank for taunt, for example. And so this is where it makes a difference between maybe, let's say, 1 million flat versus 1.31, which is still 300,000 points in difference. I'm not sure exactly how much difference it would have been, but I think that the mileage will vary. But for sure, optimizing your play is only going to net you better results. So hopefully this helps you with your gameplay, and also help you in improving your scores. Let me know in the comment below what you think about this video. If this is the type of information that you find useful and helpful. I'm glad to do more of these. I have a lot of other tricks as well that I'd love to share. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye now.